And now welcome to SMB, and we continue to drive business around here. You're watching Smart 24 TV. Right about now we head into our topical discussion where we engage experts, analysts, and also inspiring you, empowering you, and promoting on how you're going to get that business done or get that business improved. Speaking of empowering, as we look ahead to International Women's Day celebration under the theme of gender equality today for sustainable tomorrow, or for sustainable tomorrow, and that was approved by UN Women. We're going to discuss on how to better women in business and also empowering them for sustainability. And joining us with Joram Sonko and YVONNE MPANGA, who is a business development consultant and also working together with You Will, that is a board member at You Will. So you will realize we have got a very perfect person to help us understand out and regarding implementation and empowering women as we move forward for sustainability. Just to begin with, Yvonne, thank you so much for joining us. You look great. I mean. Thank you. And speaking about women empowerment, you're one of those women, maybe the young generation look out for and say, you know, you inspire them. Do you always feel, or has it ever kicked your mind, you to be an inspiration out there?
Definitely, that's part of what drives us as we do community work. Recall I'm also on the board of GSM Women Concern for Community Development, where community development is right from the cradle. So it's very important to see that our young women out there, especially the young ones, the older ones we are phasing out, but the young ones are mentored in a way that will develop the nation.
Okay, and how best can society, speaking about development, how best can society understand women, understand their development and help them better their living in terms of socio-economical and also sustainability? Let us start from there.
Yeah, thank you. Interestingly, most of the problems that society rotates around can best be solved by women because we mother the nation. I would probably think that the first and most important, and that is based on research, is that women should be supported, first of all, emotionally. Because 83% of women who don't have the right emotional support, right from home or their parents or society or at work, will not perform well. When that is done, then other parts of business are good. Then there's the instrumental one. What kind of tools do they have? Society has to, and that is where the state comes in, and making sure that they have the right tools. Then there's information. Do they have the right information? Are they aware of their rights? Are they aware of what they have to do to get to the next level? Are they aware of the loopholes the society has out there that will make them fail to achieve some of their goals? And then probably the other one, besides of the emotional support is important, like I said, the instrumental aspect whereby tools are given. Then the other aspect of social support has to do with governments ensuring, and the state and community as well, ensuring they have the right knowledge, the information that they need. Then they're able to be developmental. So other things rotate around some of those facts.
Okay,
do you believe that women need to be included in matters to do with financial inclusions, more so in society?
Definitely. Actually, there is no question about the fact that 52% of the national budget is not just in the hands of the economic people that empower, but women have a role to play. So if the economy rotates around what women are doing, and today it's even more interesting. You look at our cabinet, you look at the women out there. So if there is no inclusion, the real people who are foundation of society can't make it. We have the heads who are the men, and we are very happy to have them. But without giving women the ability to be able to move the dollar, the shilling, the kwacha, or whatever it is, then we are not doing society justice. And gone are the times when women were told, stay at home. Today, the boardroom woman is very aware. But even that woman, especially for Uganda women entrepreneurs, we want to ensure that even the most, what you'd call I don't want to call people low, but the lowest of the women out there who may not have, and many of them happen to be, I'm a single mother, Now, recently they were just off the streets and you find them hiding. Like, but why don't you just go and do this home? What will your sisters eat? They all ask. So we realize that financial inclusion starts actually with making sure that those people who hold the small family baskets are included.
All right.
Okay, and speaking about financial inclusivity, there is also concern from the society. I don't know if it is a concern that society tries to implement towards a woman or towards the identification of a woman, but you realize that at some point we do not know whether a financial inclusion space, or whether what I even have to do there. So maybe if you could help, if women or if they have got to be included or join that space of inclusivity, how best can they utilize it?
That's a very good question. Utilizing, you see, the most important thing is to have the right information. Now, utilizing is actually embracing. Now, embracing anything that people have been given. See, there is nothing as painful as you don't even know you're included. For example, you think you need a smartphone to be able to access certain finances somewhere. Today, the nation is promoting a certain parish kind of models of
parish development.
So, how are the women aware? Because that is part of the inclusion we're talking about. And if they're aware, do they know how to access? So inclusion starts with the fact that people are sensitized to be aware. Then they're also given the ability to reach through the best way possible, whether it is through the associations, the circles, the markets, women. I was happy to see one person who told me, I'm a cleaner. I said, are you a cleaner? Yes, I'm a cleaner. And I'm like, but you look so different. He said, because I'm proud of what I do and I look as... And
that
I want
must
to
be Rachel. Hi, Rachel.
I didn't want to mention names. So that means that she knows that irrespective of what kind of work she's doing, she's included in the financial sector and she has to embrace what is available for her to be able to feed her children and take care of family needs, basically.
Well,
exactly.
Well, when you look at the situation, there is a way society has termed the rise of women into what we call the women emancipation. When you look at that, it feels like women want to feel more above the men at the time when we're doing. How do you address such a situation? Do you believe it is right for society to term it that women feel more of entitled to the men?
Just to supplement, because we have seen concerns arising that there has to be gender equality. Maybe if you could even take it from there.
Actually, I'm laughing away because recently Mama Tendo had a function where it was discussed. Now, for the record, at least I am not a feminist, but for the record, Uganda Women Entrepreneurs, for instance, empowers the women to be able to sustain their families and live in harmony with their spouses. And this we want to start even with their sons. Today we welcome even the sons at some of our meetings to make sure that the sons are mentored and prepared for these women who are very well empowered. Why do I say that? Naturally, and this is natural, like I said, women need, when I said women need emotional support, instrumental support, and social support. But the emotional one is probably the most important because if they're not stable, they can't manage other things well. And we are known to be the weaker sex. Unfortunately, we can't run away from that. So because of that, naturally, men are supposed to be the kings. I mean, that's the way it has been. Society has it that way. And even then, we know man was created before the woman. So that background means that by all means, women should be brought at pace and at par with the men. No serious married woman with children or an advocate would say, I want to overcome my husband. But the men have what I would call, they have what I would call some kind of superiority complex, and their ego feels it's turned down. Recently, some gentleman was saying, in Luganda, it sounds even more. Meaning a woman should not be richer than me. I'd rather take it from her and double it. That is a wrong mentality. We always say that besides, not behind, but besides every successful man is a
There's
successful
woman.
woman.
Yes.
So the narrative
A
has
woman
changed
of
from
noble
behind
character.
No,
to
it's not behind,
beside.
it's besides.
Okay.
So when you go together, then you go far. When you go ahead,
With the behind part of
no. Besides. When you go,
That's a new one for today for you to take.
when you go together, you go far. When you are paces ahead, then there is information. We're very good counselors and guides, by the way. Women will always have the best advice. They might, because they look at, they're circumspect. They look beyond just the numbers. They say, what about this? This is what about this? Now, men will come with the numbers, women will come with the other social aspects. So all decisions that are taken by men, if they are also supplemented by the side of the women, will benefit society more. That is also another proven fact.
Okay.
Well, now when you look at the issue of men and women, in regards to the issue you've mentioned about the money and the man feeling solo once a woman is making more money, then how can we address such a situation, let's say in marriage, where the wife seems to be having more of, let's
He's
say,
earning
more
more, maybe.
salary at the end of the month, or getting more money from a business than the man in the house? How do you handle such situations where you don't want to let the man feel so down at the end of the day? You know, the mental depression that he can actually feel, even amongst his fellows. Sometimes he will feel belittled by that fact.
I actually heard of a lady, very successful, whose husband was called by their father-in-law's name. As in, imagine I'm Yvonne Panga and Mr. Smoger is called so-and-so Panga because of the success of the women.
Okay.
Now, anybody who wants society to remain stable and normal would not advocate for separating of powers in terms of economic sense. However, the male gender also sometimes is not loyal when it comes to managing finances. You bring your higher income to the home and say, darling, this is what we have. Then some men will take it elsewhere. Because of some of those insecurities and lack of trust, it's difficult to say because she earns more, it must come to the table and be shared. But what I'll probably say, and this I say from experience of the ladies in Uganda, entrepreneurs that I've worked with and seen succeed, when you have an income source, you should be able to know what it is for and why you're directing it there. Now, if the gentleman feels belittled because you have a little less, empower them in two ways. Make them know that this is ours, not mine. Then secondly, make them realize that when you are successful, they are successful too. Now the problem comes, and that's where he started from. You have the money, so you don't want to do other family responsibilities. It is natural because ideally God did not design the woman to be the provider. So when the woman is providing from A to Y,
Then that means the roles are going to change.
yes, so someone is saying, wait a minute, I'm bringing the food, I'm paying the bills. So what is your role? I mean, it's marital responsibilities are changing, but we have to have a bit of compassion, and it all starts with the foundation of the marriage. Are you friends? Because if you're friends, then you're likely to agree that this is for us together and not necessarily for him or for me. And then comes the children. Are they aware that it is a family thing, not mommy's thing or daddy's thing? Because when the children grow up thinking it is always mommy who provides, then they have a way they disrespect the dad. Or if the children think women are supposed to be in the kitchen, then the sons and the daughters will not grow up to appreciate that. So that is I don't know if I've answered your question well.
I think the best part is the friendship. If you can come together and
communication is always
communication.
key. I believe in communication, at least, just to supplement.
Yeah.
But if you just joined in, we're still discussing on how women are going to get sustainable tomorrow. That is from women entrepreneurship. And we're discussing it with YVONNE MPANGA, who also is a board member at Uganda Women Entrepreneurship, speaking about being in the kitchen, being posted to do home chores, being posted to what society, most of the society defines women or what they attach it to. As a board member, Uganda Women Entrepreneurship, you have associated with a lot of women. When is that time to break these society rules they always attach to women? Like, you're supposed to be in the kitchen, for now engaging into business. When do you realize, or when do I realize and say, you know what, enough is enough, I'm done, let me walk out there and shine and do business?
Now, I don't want to even let any woman entrepreneur out there, or even business corporate woman. By the way, I'm also in another business and professional women, which is international and has been around for 85 years. The other thing that we have to realize about being business women and professional women, or entrepreneurs for that matter, is that there is no clear line for you to say this is enough, like you said.
Okay.
The moment you say I have had enough of managing family, then you are losing it. You must find a way of balancing it. Now, you may not balance it 50-50 all the time, depending on what you do and how you do it, but make sure that in your 7-day week, at least you allocate, and this one goes from person to person. I would expect our Prime Minister today may not have that much family time as they have, but I'm sure they say this day is for my husband, or for my family, or for my children. When we decide and realize that we have to come up with our own personal principles based on our own family structures, because some people are like, I spend 2 hours a day with my children just talking about anything. Others are like, they'll be in boarding school, I'll see them and optimize in holiday. Others I'm like, I live abroad, I give them 2 months a year and we optimize. So we can't, there's no one size fits all. And there is nothing like enough is enough when it comes to balancing family and economic growth for the women. We just have to find a way of coexisting. Because when all is said and done, you've been in these boardrooms, you have been able to achieve it, then you have a son who is taking drugs. Then you have a daughter who has no mom to turn to. So women entrepreneurs and business and professional women are cautious of that. We want to raise you and you. You're all my younger siblings, there's no doubt about that. But we want to make sure that when you become members of a family, then you need the money, there's no doubt about that. You need the social recognition. But you must raise the right family, and it starts with how you behave, how you balance your family and your other social activities.
Okay,
and
then my
economic
colleague can
ones,
take you through the next.
Well, and also first take us through, now there is a management of women, you have a job, you have a business, you have children. Now you've mentioned about maintaining family and all that. Now the generation has definitely changed, and there are claims that parents no longer have time for their children, more so with the fact that there is either time for social media more often, even when they're home. So how best can the women and actually do it in the way our mothers used to do it back then? Because you would have a time with your mother for close to 2 hours, like you did mention, and then you're going to actually be disciplined in one way, or they at least take you through the morals of life. But here things are changing. The digitalization has brought in a lot of situations, and then there is business. How can a woman step up from there?
It all starts with personal discipline. Number one, we all want to actualize. What defines a successful woman for everyone is different. For some people, it is getting all that money. For some people, it is being able to touch lives. For some people, it is being... So whatever your definition of success is as a woman should not eliminate the fact that if you have children, you're raising them in a way that is going to be able to help them live a better life than yours. You talked about 2 hours for a family for your children. I used to do that. But you have to set family rules.
Okay.
I'm lucky that my mother was a working mother as I was growing up. I have more time with her today than I did when I was younger, probably because she's more retired. But one thing I realized, that if I didn't have enough time with my mother, at least I had probably a grandmother, or I had an auntie. But look at a society where everything is being left to the maids, is being left to, there's even no jaja. The jaja is also a .com jaja, and everybody is communicating from one room. It's time for dinner. So you have to set family rules.
It's time for dinner on phone.
On the phone. Yeah, I've heard of people who actually say it's time for dinner, and it is also sent via WhatsApp or via a call. Or they even...
the family WhatsApp groups.
You know? So that is not acceptable. We must never replace gadgets with interpersonal relations, because at the end of the day, the human touch. I actually said this in a recent media interview somewhere else, I think on Urban TV, or another TV somewhere. So it's very important that we don't forget, we don't delegate, or don't dissociate yourself from the responsibility of managing our lives. But most importantly, allocate time. Decide Like in my family, of course the young ones have phones. Now they are school, but they have phones. But if it's meal time, not everything can wait. You have to, no phone comes to the dining table. And if it's time to do chores, I actually gather the phones. Mommy, I'm having a class. I say, no. If the class is now, then let's communicate and get the recording. This is time for chores. And unless we are strict like that, we will not be able to have economic development, because it starts with having the right attitude towards work and responsibilities.
Okay, now, and speaking about women entrepreneurs, those potential entrepreneurs wanting to join, you know, being an entrepreneur, you will maybe start from there, how we can even impress entrepreneurial skills within ourselves or among ourselves as women. Where is that niche? Where does it drive us to? Because we have seen at least government coming out to support women in the market, and non-government organizations coming out to train them, to support them, giving them funds to continue, you know, with their cooperatives. So where do we see the future after that? Because there are scenarios as well, Yvonne, that someone has been given support, after that they lose it, or, you know, tend to lose track out of it, maybe in managing or that. So how can they sustain their cooperatives and funds, but start it with a concern on entrepreneurship driving women?
Okay, thank you. The question has more than two, okay, it addresses more than two aspects that are important. But I'll start with the one which I know everyone out here, or our listeners there, should be very cautious of. Women and the youth and the children and even the elder ones who have not discovered what their purpose and passion is may not necessarily be the best entrepreneurs in the field they choose. Many times you say, this is trending, then you want to embrace it. Today, Uganda Development Bank, UDB, is giving out loans in billions of shillings to women and youth and other young entrepreneurs. One of the things we have advocated for as the pioneers of this Women Empowerment Loan, which is, by the way, by the government of Uganda, is before you even bring your application form, don't do a business because someone else is doing it. Have a clear plan of how you want to use this 50 million or 100 million or whatever money you want to ask for. Because what happens, like you said clearly, many people have been given the money. There's been lots of money in Mioga, what? When you ask people where are the results, there are no results. That's because people have not delved into something they are familiar or are willing to stake for. So the first step is to train those people. You are going to get money. This money has got to be paid back. How do you ensure it is recuperated? How are you sure it comes back in double, so you pay this loan and also are able to make profits? If that much is clear in the mindset of the women, which is about the entrepreneurial mindset, people think everyone is doing this, let me do this. Now it is rabbits, I'm going to rabbits. Now it is croilers. But what
We
about
have boutiques.
you? We have boutiques. Everybody wants to go for a boutique. Do a basic analysis. Number one, of yourself, what your abilities are, because not everybody will be the best trader. Not everybody will be the best. Some people don't even want to look at chicken dung, but they're now saying, I want to go into this business. So know where your purpose is, know what it is that can help you make money. Once you identify that, then the entrepreneur skill becomes easier for you to handle. And then for the professional women, because remember, business and professional women and Ugandan entrepreneurs will take everyone jointly. Like, the issue now we have to address as entrepreneurs is, you have the knowledge. You have the money. You know what products you want to get into. How do you find the match between what you're producing and the person you want to take it to? Because many people will tell you, I have this, but I have nowhere to sell. That is now where you come to associations, and the associations will guide you, mentor you on how to reach that one person that you have been missing in the link to be able to find market for your products. I don't know if that addresses the issue.
It really does. At least you have given
important.
us a highlight there. And we'll take a break. We do return shortly after the break to discuss more in regards on women transformation, the youth, and at least the part of the vulnerable group, all those disadvantaged really, because they tend to combine women, youth, the disadvantaged all together, disabled. Maybe you will tell us why after the break. We take a break.